Mr. Amos, if you don't care like Hugo cares, then it's better for you to leave it to somebody who cares.
Somewhere in the region of 1,000 or less votes would have separated the People's National Party from the Jamaica Labour Party in the last election. Of course, prior to that, it would have been a larger lead of over 3,000 or somewhere in the region of 3,000 odd votes. So there is an indication that the People's National Party faltered a bit in 2016. Now, as we prepare to face the polls again, you are going up against Mr. Amos. Is it the case that this fall off, so to speak, that we're seeing is an indication that the People's National Party might be losing support in this constituency?
Okay, so thank you for that question and observation. The way I deal with that is more Newton Amos going up against me, because the people have already elected me and I've done 3 terms, as you have said. So the people have said that they want me to represent them. So he's trying to do something that I have done. If we go back to the last election, Mr. Amos is from Mount Russell. They didn't support him from where he is from. He went to Linstead. They didn't support him. I have no idea why he's running again. But I know that there are words like ego and all of these words that you hear around the place. But for me, it's about serving people. You have been rejected at the parliamentary level, you have been rejected at the council level. So for me, is a clear telling that people are saying, we don't want you. In terms of the margins going down, the last vote, the percentage was 40%, and coming down from 79% when Bobby just came to Northwest. I am not surprised by it. I would expect it, because there's an incumbency factor. There's a factor that you would have lost touch, for example, with the young people and the persons your age. Those voters are dying. So for me, it's a natural phenomenon. It's nothing that I'm worried about. Why do I say that? I'm also a mentor and I'm also a business coach. So I have small groups of persons in the constituency that I meet with. I provide mentorship, I provide coaching for them for what they want to do and their own self-actualization. And when I meet them, no matter where in the constituency I meet them, whether it is in Lloydersville or it's in Linstead, I get the same good reception. People are interested in me. They want to know what I have to say and they want support to move their lives forward. So on those bases, that's probably not as technical. If you want to go to the technical basis, I have done in 2016 a constituency development plan. I don't know how many constituencies in Jamaica can boast one of these. And it is done from each division, each 4 divisions, and what the requirements of the division are.
Highlight for me very quickly the areas of focus that is in your constituency plan, so to speak, so that we can have an appreciation of some of the projects that you have in mind to implement when you become, should you become MP.
I would say it's when. As I said, I'm a coach and I'm a mentor, so I speak positively and I speak that which I want, not which I don't want. Without even looking in this, the biggest problem in Northwest St. Catherine is unemployment, and possibly the biggest problem in Jamaica. It is also bigger among the young people. So in terms of what I've been doing, is supporting the young people to do what they want to do. A lot of people want to do business. They're interested in how someone like me, born on Raiders Road at Victoria Jubilee Hospital, and now respected businessman in the Jamaican landscape and the Jamaican environment, to the cooperating with companies of the like or ilk of Rare Neville, Campari, Red Stripe, Ministry of Education, to do their cleaning and sanitation and their COVID prevention. That must say something. Been in business for 30 years must say something.
What's the nature, if you don't want it, of the business?
We're in chemicals business, Paramount Jamaica, cleaning and sanitation. So in COVID, we pledged to the government to support them and all the agencies in providing alcohol for the agencies, the doctors, the hospitals, and so on, and hand sanitizer to take them through COVID. The youths want support. They want to do what they want to do. They want to reach to their goals, their ambition. That's where I come from. So to help them, not only to provide jobs, because I also believe that people need to be owners of capital. They need to provide jobs for people. So it's not that only you are going out there to look at work, you should be prepared to give a job or to give a work. So my job is to show people that you can be an employer of labor, and you don't only have to stop at being an employee. If you look at the voting, when I came in, Lloydersville votes, we were having a margin of 600. I've taken that to 1,300. So I've doubled someone that was born in Lloydersville, brought up in Lloydersville, in the strength of Glenn McLean, not speaking ill of the dead, because he did very well, because I took the baton from him, but then I improved on it, because without him there would be. And it's the same thing for me. I'm taken from Bobby, and my goal is to improve on it. If that weren't so, then I would have no interest in working for the people.
Your opponent, he has accused you of, as a councillor, of failing to serve the people diligently, he says, because he says he has done checks and he has found out that you seldom attend the meetings of the municipal corporation, and he says if you are doing that as a councillor, he's suggesting that you are going to be an absentee member of parliament. How do you respond to that?
Well, as I say again, at all times there's a mouth never say anything. But if you talk about the work in my division, start with Top Hill Basic School. I've created that with help from Food for the Poor and the Stewart's Foundation, the Diana Stewart's Foundation. The Lloydersville Community Center. We've developed that center, put water on the field, with irrigation for the place and everything. When I went to Ty Dixon, the youths were playing football in the square. We've gotten a place, develop a community center, and some place that they can go. Some place that the community can use as a citizen for their citizen association meeting and their barbecues and so on. Some place to meet and do that. Polyground, the same thing. Create a changing room and environment that persons can come and they can feel comfortable in their environment, bathroom facilities, etc. Orangefield Community Center, go in there and develop a community center, develop a football field, and so on. When you talk about education, I've gone to Polyground, put in 3 classrooms. I've gone to Jericho, put in 2 classrooms. They have even, and humbly saying, they have named it after me. That's just a tidbit as a councillor. What has he done apart from talk? Can he point to one stone that he has moved for the years that he has been here to say, I have done this, apart from talking and walking around and criticizing? It's a black people thing, and I'm sorry. that we pull down people because they are doing good. But that is not, to me, in the year 2020, what we need to do. Is you need to rival me by doing. So let us match what you're doing and what I'm doing. Because in the end, it's about the people, it's not about me. Even presently, and people say I'm boasting, so I'm very careful in what I say. I serve on private boards. I serve on public boards. Can you say the same thing? I give my time and my talent to persons, especially young people. Because some of the boards that I serve on, they are young people boards. In entertainment industry in particular, people who are trying to find their way. I didn't leave private sector to come and support the people because I want a job or I want a title. I have the biggest title that I can have in the private sector. I'm a CEO. I'm a founder. I'm a business owner. So I have no deficiency in that area. I come to serve because the good Lord has blessed me well, and I come to bless some other people.
Charlemont housing scheme, is that in your constituent, in your division?
Charlemont is not in my division, but it is in the constituency.
He was raising some issue about the fixing of the roads in that community, saying that the National Housing Trust has allocated some funds, but it is taking such an inordinately long time, he says, for the municipality to roll out the project. He's asking, why is it that it is taking so long for that project to be rolled out in the community? You don't know anything about that, do you?
I do. I know everything that happens in the community, in the constituency. Like my own business, I treat it the same way. There's a process. My information, and to my certain knowledge, the project that the Prime Minister had spoken about is that all of these communities that were built in the 60s and in the 70s,
I remember.
they'll go through and fix some of the challenges in the communities because they were left unattended. The roads, for example, and sewage are the two big problems in those housing schemes. And what has happened with that, and from my understanding, that the funding for this project that the Prime Minister spoke about will be funded through the Housing Trust. So, as everybody always say, housing trust have hold for money, and that's where government go to find money when they need money. So people say, right? But there's also a process. Where it is now, and my understanding, my last trip, is that cabinet need to sign off. And he should know that because he's a part of the government. So I'm surprised that you want to represent people and you don't know that. So I would ask him to go and get your information, research your thing before you speak. Because if you plan to lead people, you need to bring authentic information. You need to be credible. I don't know if my opponent, if I want to call him that, or the person who is seeking to represent people, understands what people want and what they need.
In the spirit of political banter, what message, if any, would you send to Mr. Newton Amos at this time?
Mr. Amos, if you don't care like Hugo cares, then it's better for you to leave it to somebody who cares. And that's all I would say. Hugo cares.